Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. Earlier today, the Star newspaper reported a very interesting story. Koome, judicial independence is under attack. One challenge is independent institutions encroaching on area reserved for judiciary. Bottlenecks. Chief Justice says judiciary fund not operating optimally. If you go through that story, the Star newspaper is reporting that the Chief Justice has got a varied range of issues that she's complaining about. That the national government is using these so-called independent institutions to stifle the judiciary. So she wants some Kenyans or some leaders to make noise. I want us to dig deep into this for Kenyans to understand what this means politically and what it portends, and why I strongly believe that Kenyans should have no mercy on the Chief Justice because she speared herself with her own spear. Before we do that, let me bring to the attention of our fans here that a few hours ago, today, we started a 3-day challenge to buy a camera for our new YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dennis Live. I've pinned the link of the new YouTube channel on the comment section. For those who have not yet subscribed, subscribe. Our budget for the camera is 100,000. I know that with 100,000, we can get a very good camera that will enable us bring you high quality videos with the proper sounds. And so far we have raised 17,400. And let me just congratulate the following people who have so far sent their donations: John Maina, Ruto Gallo, Tom Odhiambo, James Wafula, Ken Wambua, and Jacinta Gatuna. I'm very much grateful and very humbled for the contributions. I don't want this thing to drag. I believe that 100,000 we can raise in 1 day or even 2. Ikienda sana 3 days. Let's finish this business as fast as we can. For those interested in sending something, send all your contributions to that number below: 0722 735 065. All your contributions are highly being appreciated. Let's now dig deep into our analysis. Let's dig deep. Yes. What's happening here, ladies and gentlemen? I always like quoting some words of wisdom from a German theologian, Martin Niemöller. Niemöller, before he saw the light, he was a strong supporter of the Nazi rule. The same Nazi rule turned against him, and that's where he started seeing the light. And he had this to say: first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Yes, and then he concluded that eventually they came for him, and there was nobody to speak for him. Martha Koome and her bench, they led us to where we are. And it might be possible that even before the presidential elections, they must have had a deal with Ruto and his team that upon William Ruto taking power, then he was going to give them money. Yes, more judiciary allocations. And I still remember immediately William Ruto was sworn in as the president. He first of all saw some judges and even promised to increase judiciary funds allocation. Yes, funds allocations. I don't know whether Ruto did that. All those were just some hot air promises. But from the kind of noise Martha Koome she's producing, it might be possible, highly possible, that Amerambwa, she and the and the Supreme Court judges and whichever, they were given hot air promises, promises that have never been actualized. So in a nutshell, she's just feeling that she's feeling the heat. And she's feeling it because she brought that upon herself and upon the judiciary. She brought us where we are. When Raila Odinga and his team in Azimio were complaining of a rigged election, an election where a majority of the commissioners are saying that something is not right here, Koome and the judiciary branded that hot air, wild goose chase. Martha Koome should shut up, should not disturb Kenyans. Let her suffer in silence. Somebody who has speared herself or himself is with his or her own spear should not be mourned. Koome should not be mourned. Let her die peacefully. She actually speared herself with her own spear. As I conclude, looking at the way this government is being run, I'm fully convinced and persuaded that this is a government that is moribund, a government on its deathbed. I can't just fathom the fact that petrol, something that was just 159 Kenya shillings per liter, a few months ago when Uhuru Kenyatta was in power, petrol is now 211 per liter. Taxes everywhere. Corruption increasing on a daily basis. Ethnic and tribal appointments. Nepotism. Nothing is basically working in this government. David Ndii, the economic advisor to the president, has admitted that things will not succeed. That's David Ndii, Ruto's economic advisor. Who are we now to say things are going to work if the chief economic advisor to the president has just confirmed to Kenyans that things are not going to work? Let me just read for you briefly, for those who didn't listen to our first video, some remarks made by David Ndii. Ndii has already surrendered. Let me read it for you. David Ndii, I'm not a politician. I don't sell hope. It is going to be painful and it may not work. Even Oxford and Harvard trained doctors lose patience. That's the government's chief advisor, David Ndii, admitting in broad daylight that things are not going to work. Yes, in fact, he's just saying things are not going to work. He's just trying to be polite. Who are we to say things are going to work? This is a government that is doomed to fail. And just as I did explain in our earlier video, it's something like an allegory. where monkeys grabs a car, chases away the owner, but they can't drive the car because they have no clue on how the car is being driven. Let me stop you there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, for those sending their contributions, channel all your contributions to the number below. Yes, let's enable us here, buy a camera to bring you good quality videos. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you.